Well, I was born in Vietnam, and then I came to the United States when I was 4 years old in 1975 because of the end of the Vietnam War, and my family was on the losing side, so we became refugees, and that's where my memories begin, in a refugee camp in the United States. A few years later, my family moved to another state, and my parents opened perhaps the second Vietnamese grocery store in this city in California. The life of refugee shopkeepers is very difficult, and I found comfort and refuge in the library. This is where I learned that I wanted to be a writer. I grew up in San Jose, California in the 1970s and 1980s in a Vietnamese refugee community, which meant that I was surrounded by the Vietnamese language, Vietnamese food, Vietnamese custom. That was very important to me. It shaped me psychologically and culturally. I also felt very American too. So there was a real conflict between these two parts of myself. I also grew up aware that the Americans were reliving the war again in memory. So I grew up watching all the American war movies that were being made about Vietnam. We were not in these movies. We were just the background for the American drama, and so I really wanted to tell Vietnamese stories. When I wrote my first novel, The Sympathizer, I did write that as a historical novel, a spy novel that was set during the Vietnam War in the 1970s. The opening of the novel is set during the fall of Saigon. I was there, but I was 4 years old, so I don't remember any of it. I read every book in English, every article in English about the fall of Saigon. Day to day, to hour, all of that is recreated from the research. The books draw from my emotions and my experience, and sometimes they draw from very specific kinds of book research. Portuguese literature has been very important to my writing as well. Saramago. So Lobo Antunes in particular, his novel about the Portuguese War in Angola was very important to my novel, The Sympathizer, because of the style and the politics that he was concerned with. I first came to Portugal in 2003. I fell in love with it. I thought it was a beautiful country. I'm very fortunate that 3 of my books have been translated into Portuguese. I'm just very excited to meet Portuguese people, but also Portuguese readers. It's a great opportunity to be here.